Karen's audacity escalated further when she tried forcing me to sell my land for her so-called Lake Villas project. She assumed that threats, manipulation, and her HOA authority would intimidate me into compliance. What she failed to consider was that I had strategic, legal, and personal defenses in place, and a tattoo on my shoulder that carried far more significance than she imagined. The confrontation began in the late morning, when Karen arrived at the property accompanied by a group of enforcers and legal representatives from the HOA. Their goal was simple: pressure me into selling the lakefront land, claiming it was for the greater community good. Karen was confident, her audacity fueled by entitlement and repeated successes against less prepared residents. She assumed the same pattern would work here. I observed calmly, assessing every angle, every person, and every potential threat. The land was mine, fully documented with deeds, survey records, and legal protection, and my preparation reflected years of anticipating harassment from Karen and her HOA allies. As she spoke, her words were aggressive, but I noticed the subtle hesitation of her operatives, signaling they too understood the situation was more complex than Karen realized. Karen attempted to escalate, threatening fines, legal action, and public embarrassment. She did not anticipate my quiet, controlled response. As she advanced toward me, I shifted my clothing slightly, revealing the tattoo on my shoulder, a symbol known to those who understand the history of tactical operations, signaling affiliation with elite military and strategic networks. Her eyes widened as recognition dawned. She had not expected a civilian to carry such a warning of preparedness, skill, and tactical authority. The presence of the tattoo alone shifted the dynamics. Karen's confidence faltered, replaced by uncertainty. Her operatives began to hesitate, understanding that the threats they had been ordered to enact were far riskier than anticipated. Karen, seeing the shift, attempted to bluff, but the subtle cues were unmistakable. Her audacity had collided with strategic awareness and history she could not manipulate. I calmly outlined my legal position, detailing every protection, precedent, and potential consequence of attempting to coerce me into selling. Karen's threats, once bold and brazen, were rendered meaningless against documented property rights, my legal knowledge, and the unspoken warning of experience represented by my tattoo. Her plan had no leverage. It had only highlighted her audacity and lack of foresight. Neighbors and onlookers began to gather, sensing the escalating tension. Karen, always relying on spectacle and intimidation, suddenly found herself exposed. Her attempts at control were ineffective against strategy, preparation, and a display of authority she could not manipulate. Her operatives, realizing the risk, stepped back, leaving her increasingly isolated. By mid-afternoon, Karen's bluff had collapsed entirely. She retreated, muttering complaints and threats, but it was clear that her plan had failed. The lakefront land remained mine, fully secured, and Karen's reputation further diminished by her audacious miscalculation. Cedar Pines residents witnessed a clear lesson. Audacity without preparation is powerless, and threats without leverage are self-defeating. That evening, I reviewed the day's events, noting the significance of both legal and psychological strategy in neutralizing audacious aggression. Karen had assumed fear and compliance were universal. She had underestimated knowledge, preparation, and subtle warning signs that communicate authority and capability without violence. By nightfall, the property was secure, the lakefront untouched, and Karen's influence diminished. The story spread quickly, reinforcing a fundamental truth in Cedar Pines. Audacity, when confronted with preparation, authority, and strategic awareness, always fails. Karen's attempt to force a land sale had backfired spectacularly, leaving her exposed, humiliated, and powerless against someone who combined readiness, law, and tactical awareness.